Super. Super. Okay, lovely. Good late morning or early afternoon. Pick up what you want. If somebody can just tell me if you hear me right, if you see your screens. Just in the chat box, if somebody can tell me that, would be lovely. And then I propose that we don't wait too long because as I know most of the people in Belgium, it's lunchtime. And I hope that the streaming is getting right. Does everybody copy?
On my side, it's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Hello, Olivier. Nice to have you with us. I don't see you on the camera, but I guess that you get the secret a bit higher. You know what? I see that we're with a couple of people already. Woohoo! That's my mate over there. Good to have you. They have lovely office in Louvain-la-Neuve, by the way. So if you want to jump in, just give him a call. He will do that with pleasure. Okay, 11. Let's boot it so we can directly start with it. So summer release. Those that know Actito 4 times a year. That's really the idea. I love to have partners with me. I think it's more than a year ago that we did our last session with Califio. I had the chance to have their head of product, Olivier, with me. Really fast because that's not a part I like, because the idea over here is more to share with you, of course. I'm Jonathan, working 10 years at Actito, and basically my job is to help you increase your relation with your customer so that you can basically show to your boss that marketing delivers value and euros at the end of the day and the actions. To do that, we have our marketing automation, but we love to have partners around us because we want to stay focused on a piece, and that is why I love so much the guys of Califio. I will let Olivier present himself. I think it's much handier that he's doing his way. Here you go, mate.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you for having us, John. So I'm Olivier. I'm 3 years at Califio now, helping really our customers in data collection and interactive marketing, and to basically push more and more data to Actito, so that you can really have like nice flow, segmented flow, and really qualitative and fresh data in the pipes. That's in the very short version.
So you hear the word fresh, and keep that in mind because that's exactly what we are going to do in this session. The pillar I was talking about, so as you know, we try at Actito always to have each quarter a new app, really based on what you really request us to build for you, an update of something, because the tool is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, and Olivier knows that very well as a head of product. Sometimes you need to refresh your code, your design, your process, your documentation. So that's always something we do also every 3 months, just to try to bake with what we call legacy in our world. And like I told in the intro, for us it's very important that we can deliver more value to our customer, but we know that with our best partners, we are just better, stronger, and that we can help you to grow faster and higher. That's really the idea behind. So the 3 elements, we will try to keep that in the 30 minutes as usual. So let's jump in directly. I think that is really the core idea is to show it. I already logged in into the interface because it makes it handier. That is a license. I will go full screen because it makes it handier. So those that were present at our last session know that we have upgraded our interface with what we call the dashboard. The dashboard had as main idea to give you key KPIs on your business, because let's be honest, marketing a few years ago was really about the lovely colors, the tones, the slogan, a lot of advertising, and yeah, spending money. But if you didn't broke any money back, no issue. Since then, we are really KPI driven, and we need to deliver what we call return on investment. So my database scaled by 1%. I didn't add any new subscriber, but I know that I have 647 pieces of journeys working. Just so for those that don't know us very well, journeys is like the customer life cycle, you know, from the attract, engage, grow, nurture, and cross-selling, upselling, retention. Those are really elements we are trying, testing stuff with our database. We had our email so that we could give you some insights about, yeah, the opening, the clicks. And since last week, we upgraded with the super champions, you know, the big guys with strong arms. And basically we had a lot of requests for a customer to go with scoring. Now, I will be very open and transparent. I think that most of the time scoring is something really sales related, because it was helping them identify the hottest the best opportunities in their pipeline. So what was the idea behind? Sales or marketing was sending mass campaigns or even targeted campaigns. The people that opened, click, downloaded something had at the end more points, because you were adding for each interaction, each action of a customer, a degree of points. And of course, it helped the sales to just sort the list and say, I will start with the higher score and go down into my list, so that I'm pretty sure I don't miss any opportunity. So that was really the idea from scoring. But a big problem with scoring, it's time, because if I just add, but I never reduce point because the people move into your funnel, don't interact with you, you have an issue. That's why at Actito, we took the angle to focus always on those 3 months. This is again based on the 404 model we try to apply to everything we do. And so we will have a look at how active the global database was in the latest 3 months. And that can be based on email interaction, creation of profile, forms filled in, website visits, just call in scenarios, you can really go in it. So the score goes to 100, that's the maximum. So my database here, in this case, is 67 on a score, which is good. But what I love to see is that I was able to grow by 12% in those 3 last months. So that means that my team is doing well this job. Basically, that's really the idea behind it. So that is the global vision that you can have of it. Let's have a look maybe in the profile, because it's good to have the global vision, but everybody knows that we love one-to-one and really personalized message. So I want to have a look at some people. I will jump in one of our database over here. Let's pick up Actito. Yeah, if there are some lags, just due to the fact I'm not in Belgium, so really working remote this time. I will do a quick search up, or it was already ready. So I see myself over here with 2 email address. Let's pick up my latest one, and you have what our people of the product call the charge. What is the charge? The charge is basically the scoring from an individual, from a people like me. That is me, for example, and I'm very good because I open all the action, all the campaigns, and I interact a lot with the marketing that is done at Actito. So my global score is 96, which is important to understand in that it's based again on Jonathan with the latest month, and we try to bring a bit more color into Actito to make it more intuitive to people to understand what is happening. Very good is the lovely green. Good is a dark green. Then you go to fair, which is not bad. And then you get the low and the bad. The idea is really so that, I don't know, you can imagine any kind of customer, you have a look at your segment, and then you can see how good those people are interacting with your marketing. That helps you identify ambassadors, maybe also identify people that are less active in the latest months. That is based basically on, like I said, on all the interactions. So just to bring back the marketing automation story in that, email marketing is just about email. Marketing automation is multi-channel, complex data structure, interacting with all the channels. That's really the idea behind the marketing automation. If I'm just trying to filter a little bit over here, the kind of actions we can have, you see that on the email channel, I didn't do much, but I was able to visit a lot of website pages that we think are very valuable and help us increase the score. But I also interact with the emails, and like you see, I did open some, I did click in some, and all those interactions help. And of course, add to that I subscribe to new stuff, extra points, extra data, extra engagement. So you can really have that global vision on your database level, but you can bring it back to a consumer. Now let's challenge that maybe a piece further, and I will go back to our managed profile, and let's try maybe to build a query together or to search after a specific segment. Those that know Actito know that everything which I will be doing now in what we call targeting, you can use that in any communication channel, but you can also use that as a starting element in any kind of customer journey you want to test out. So I will quickly go back here. I will edit this just so that I show you the idea behind. Let's say, for example, that my first idea is to say, okay, I will identify the people with an Actito engagement score which is equal to low. So you remember my George, and I had the green, then the orange, then the red. Let's say I want to have a look. How many? What is the volume? Because at the end, you know, volume is still very important in marketing, although we can go really one by one, because you know that one customer can really deliver a lot of value. You also need to have some mass to have more impact on your organization level. If I have a look at all the people I can target by that are in the low segment, it's 6,694 people that are as a score low. Now that's cool, but you want to do something with it. So to be able to do something with it, and out of the GDPR stuff, you know, the consents, the opt-ins and everything, let's add a criteria. And in this case, I will call it subscription newsletter is equal to true, because I know that those people are not very active, but I want to be sure that I may target those with any kind of campaigns. So just adding that to have a kind of an idea about what is the volume I can reach, which type of action could I run on those people. So you see that I still have 4,853 people that I can target that are part of that segment with a low activity, but that I can still contact through my newsletter. So that's really a very precise group. And so now let's say that I want to do things, and I think marketers don't do tests enough. I think we are still in maybe too much a movement where it's, you know, and let's be honest, we all face the same emergency, urgencies, swapping of priority every day. That's basically what every marketer is able or should be able to do. We call that agility, but we still want to learn stuff. I think a marketer should really be a learning machine. And if I try, and I will create here, let's say webinar English, I'll link it to, oops, not this, but my marketing database. And now I can start thinking with my team, with my staff about what could we run. And let's be honest, in this case, I took an opt-in, so I mean that I have a digital X from them. Olivier, could you just cut your microphone 2 seconds because I have the echo coming back. Thank you. So I grab my targeting block, and you can say, for example, on that activity low, which we prepare up front, and I can just collect because I will save it in this block. And then what you want to do, you want to split test. You want to split test 2 kind of message. I'm not saying that's the exercise or the example that you should apply in your business. Your CSM and is available to think with you and help you with that. But I would be very curious to test 2 kind of emails on that specific target audience. I can say, for example, on people with a low activity, I will unsubscribe you of my database because you don't have any value. Or I can try to introduce maybe some kind of call to action. You should contact your CSM. Those could be, for example, a 2 kind of message, and then we will see how it impacts basically that specific group. That's really the idea. It's being able to play on that engagement score, which is really crucial today because brands need to have that connection between the brand, the consumer, and need to be so deeply integrating each other that you need to be able to act on it always. This is also bringing me to something other, but for that I will just show you a print screen because we're still working on that. Those that know me very well know how I hate benchmarks for 2 main reasons. I think that a benchmark is most of the time a way to have a nice umbrella up to your head because you don't compete versus yourself. That's the first reason. The second reason, let's be honest, you don't have local benchmarks. If you go, it's Litmus, it's big Gartner's industry and those kind of things. And so it's really difficult for us in Belgium, France, UK, I don't know, all the places we're accessible today and helping customer to have a vision about my market. So Emily, which is the product manager at Actito, built this, and she gives you the minimum and the maximum score of the retail and the average. But that is based on Actito customer. So we don't have 20,000 customers with huge disproportion in them, but we have a lot of customers that allow us to provide you those figures. So now you can compete versus your market, but you can also compete versus yourself, because you remember, and when I'm going back to quickly Actito and my dashboard, that was the latest update we were doing. I was showing you, for example, the 20 latest email where you can have the vision about your sent, your opening, your clicks. So that was your own benchmark on 3 months that you try to break every time. But you can imagine if that figure was above or below this, that helped you again identify the real opportunities. And that is what we want you to think, the way we think you should think, something like that. So those dashboards, those benchmarks, sorry, are available. We share them with you with the CSM, and I think challenge your CSM during your next quarterly business review. Ask him if you're in the travel and leisure to come up with our benchmark. Have a look at your own one in Actito, because that's accessible for any kind of marketeers we have, and then based on that, start thinking about those insightful journeys that you can build with them to engage more, better, make more revenue. You know, at the end, marketing is just the idea to becoming better every day. We want to help with that. That's why we bring to you the engagement score on a global level, on a person level, but also building benchmarks so that you can not only compete versus yourself, but also in your industry. So that was really the new one. Love to hear the feedback. Break it, nail it, just tell us what you think. If you love it, also thank you, say that you love it. I would love to bring that back to the IT. They really work their ass on that one to make it really accessible and useful for you to go deeper. Now that was the first part. Second part is what we call at Actito the goals. So those that are more familiar with Google Analytics, if you see those kind of funnel, the fact that you download, for example, a PDF is exactly what we call goal is reached. In Actito, we have kind of the same notion behind that, but we have 2 types of goals. And we thought it was time to, I don't know, you say that exactly in English, but to refresh it a little bit. So if I go in my goals and you see that lovely flag, because you reach something, that's really the idea behind a goal, you will see that you can create 2 types of goals. One could be a website visit and the other one can be a transaction. I will first quickly refocus on the website visit, because I think not enough customers are using that, although it's bringing so much value back to the customer. So you saw my profile, and I did interact a lot with our websites. And so that was basically feeding my scoring and helping Actito to understand that I was very engaged with their content, very engaged with their website. We don't talk only email, we talk really multi-channel. And I will take an example, and Olivier knows that one very well. They send a newsletter at Califio every month as well, with very good pieces of content. Out my own experience, if you click on an article, you don't go back to the email to find a second one and then go back to the website. What I mean by that, the classical way of doing is you click the article, you discover an article which you like, which is maybe linked with other ones, so you continue your reading on the website. But this is not an information we had, so we were not able to understand how deep, how far your customer were engaging. And Google, for so far I know, never tells you who it is. It just gives you IDs. It don't say you, Jonathan, was discovering that great piece of content, and then that other one, and that went on a form. That's really the idea behind this. Very easy to implement, and I will show you in a few. I can show you basically how it's working. Here I go. I will call it demo webinar EN. I link it to my database. Then you can say on specific website, I will say blog, and I add a start to it, so that basically every page behind blog will be taking into the notion of reaching that goal. You activate it. What does it say? It must be an URL valid. You see all the checks are done. I didn't mention the HTTP or HTTPS, so we really try to bring it easy back to you. Here we go. No. now activating my goal. So as soon as that one, that's what we call the demo effect. No, no demo effect, my fault. Here you go, up and the star. I activate my goal, here we go. My script is ready. And for those that know Google Tag Manager, I think it's the most easy tool that I've ever seen to build it. You go to your script, you just copy paste what you see in this box appearing, copy, paste it in it, job is done. Based on any interaction, based on that cookie, the information will get back. Of course, I cannot show you all the details of how goals work. I will say give a call to your CSM and we will go in a lot of details. Although, you know that in our latest review, we were also talking about our documentation. So I will just open that one in a new tab. I need to unzoom, sorry for that. And then the documentation is coming up. Yep, here we go. And then you see here the goals. And in the goals, you have two kinds of goals. You have the one that was talking about the website visit, but you can also go for a much more complex goal, which will be a transactional goal. What is exactly a transactional goal? So you see, you got all tips and tricks, what you can do with adding the little star, like I said, it's fully documented. And really the job that has been done by the support team and Jill, especially, is just amazing. I love that documentation. Thank you very much for that, guys. So have a look at it, also give us a feedback. But what I mean by that, you could have go in this and create that one, and you will define a value. Because at the end, marketing, like I said in the beginning, is a lot about return on investments. And let's say, for example, I work in the leisure, and I will show you another print screen because I didn't have one ready. But this is one of my customer. I'm just hiding the stuff, leisure, e-retail or retail, that could be the kind of sector. Then sending a lot of emails. They did activate the transactional goal, and you see that the campaign they were able to send on the 7th of June basically brought back in revenue 10K 669 euros. That is exactly the kind of thing that marketers need today to have extra budget, to show the impact that they have on the chiffre d'affaires, the revenue of the company. This is also a great way for us to help a customer understand the real value of doing communication, because at the end you don't talk anymore about just emotion and you know, the fairy tale of the marketing, but you're really talking about cash and money. And that is exactly what we wanted to show. So that's really the idea behind our goals. Very easy to implement. Just have fun. Just have fun with it. It's a good way. The store is ready. We did the upgrade, and that's, I think, the right moment to hand it over to my buddy Olivier, and he will explain you much more what our teams, and when I talk about our teams, it's Califio team and Actito team, have done to upgrade already what we were able to share with you a couple of months, I think nearly a year ago, and we heard your feedback and we are now trying to bring it back. The wrap up of me is, we got those engagement score, play with it, tell us what you think about it, crush it, tell us you love it, play with those goals so that you can finally show to your CEO, CFO that no, marketing is not a cost center, but a profit center. And then if they give you more budget, you can do better things. That's the right moment to hand it over to Olivier. I think it should be working there, Olivier. And don't forget to reopen your microphone, and I will cut mine.
Yeah, normally you can hear me now.
Yeah, I hear you great, and I also see your screen.
All right, so just a couple of words about Califio. So I've been introduced by John, but what are we? We're a SaaS platform as well, who is doing data collection and interactive marketing. So really collecting the data to put it back to Actito. And what we see the main challenges of our customers is really collecting fresh data. Collecting data, having data in Actito is fine. Well, if the person has changed his mobile phone or his address, well, it's not going to be relevant anymore. So we help you to be really in contact via this interactive marketing to really collect fresh data, always up to date, in, of course, a GDPR compliant way, with the consents and the opt-ins that lie around. Basically, we or also give your visitors a reason to leave their data. So why would they leave their data in the first place? Well, maybe you have a coupon to distribute. Maybe you have another really reason here to, well, let them drop the name of their dog or their mobile phone or whatever. Then, of course, grow the community and rebuild the database after GDPR. We know that many companies did lose a large count of their email database after GDPR. Well, via Qualify, it's also the opportunity to rebuild that database. And I think John was speaking about the volume. Well, segmentation is very important. Volume is of course key to get good KPIs and good revenue, good return on investment. Sorry. And of course, interact more to engage more and get people to go higher in the score, in the scorecard that John was presenting, to have really like very good profile 96 such as John, and not profile that would rank at 10 like me in your database. Then, so we're a platform, and basically you will pick one of the formats that you can choose. You can choose a quiz, an instant win, a jackpot, whatever. Put it on your website or on a dedicated website that you will create for the occasion, or on your mobile application, on Facebook, on an Instagram story, whatever. So really, any reach point is good. And of course, the measurement of all the success of your campaign. And we will push that data very easily in Actito. I'm just there in 1 sec. Of course, I spoke about GDPR. It's still one very important focus and topic for our customers, for all of you. Well, of course, you can set up data retention policies, erase profile, export them if you need to because of GDPR. Who are we being used by? Mainly large media groups. We speak about MyMail in the UK. We speak about RTBF in Belgium, Ciné Télé Revue, well, TF1, so a lot of big names, and many brands. So we see Coca-Cola, Nestle, Volkswagen. So I think you will recognize some of them. Also in the travel sector, I know there are many brands. So basically, interactive content, yeah, that's a lever for the data collection. So why would the user leave their data in the first place? It's because you are going to distribute, for instance, coupons for your dogs, and you will propose, you will ask some data such as the name of the dog size, and the number of dogs, for instance, that the customer have. And also maybe a very relevant question for you, do you also have a cat? Then you can also put them into your cat marketing, well, the cat segment, sorry. And all those information are really levers to do better personalization of the flows that you will create in Actito. So in Actito, you will say, okay, that's very much powerful to say that this food is for, well, the name of the dog, or that you can present exactly the perfect food depending on the size of the dog. And obviously, the opt-in collection can be a very big goal as well for us and for our customers. So what you could do as well, let's say you already have some customers that have subscribed to your email. You are going to send them an email, but they are low on the scorecard. You want to raise them a bit higher because you know they're more likely to convert. And maybe you see that via all the testing that you've done, that the customers, they are much higher in the scale and much more willing to buy your product if they are opt-in on the SMS version. So maybe you can put a goal on the SMS and see basically with your couponing campaign how many opt-ins for the SMSs you've been able to collect. So really bridging the two solutions here. Another example here by Brico, retailer in the bricolage, I don't remember in English, sorry, renovation and stuff. So which kind of renovation do you plan this year? It will be a bit of a swiper, so Tinder-like interaction. So it's not only asking questions and filling forms. Are you an owner or a tenant? So based on that, of course, Brico is not going to remarket the same way. Do you live in an apartment or in a house? Or a personality test. what is your favorite gastronomy, what image represents best your idea of travel, sorry, then you really are like in a very nice experience for the user. But in the end, you can have very qualitative and relevant information for your segmentation and retargeting. And so now I'm speaking about the integration Qualifio and Actito. So we make sure that we push the declarative and non-declarative data into Actito for you to use them in your flows in the segmentation and personalization. So I've been speaking about the dog name, so demographics, contact information, or intentional data, but also how many times did you participate to a campaign, all these kind of non-declarative information. I have a concrete example that you will also see here that I can click on. So it is a campaign we made.
Like exactly. To me, I guess.
Sorry, John, I didn't quite catch the question.
To drop me the questions like a little bit a bit? You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So which model is I really not good at basket sneakers. Well, so you ask a few questions, maybe you have some gifts to give out. Then of course, in order to be able to send out the gift, the user needs to fill in his personal data. That is new information that you will be able to gather in Actito. I'm male and my favorite sneaker brand is Nike, and I'm wearing 43 size of shoe. This is very relevant information that you will find directly in Actito, with possibility also to really engage in a viral way, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, on WhatsApp, or whatever. Now, all this, so I'm back to the press here, if you can still see it. In a very seamless way, in just a few clicks, that's our back office here that you can see. You can configure the integration. You will just need to fill in just few data to make sure it's working. Then you will activate it in your campaign. You can by default activate it in your form so that you make sure that data is always pushed. And we have, of course, some documentation. So John showed the documentation Actito part. This is also something that we have and that we've built basically together with Actito for non-admins and for admin, how to set up the integration, what data do you need to really set it up. It really takes like 5 minutes, and you do not need to be a technical person to do it. That's really the goal, to be very efficient, be business oriented, and be able to go run in a couple of seconds. Qualifio, just to finish, so I'm not too long. It's very fast to onboard on Qualifio, so we make a quick technical setups to make sure you run on your own domain. We use your analytics. We set up also in the functional way who is going to be using the tool with different type of users, the forms that we set up with you. And then we come over to your place, do some training and inspiration. We make sure everybody understands how to leverage Qualifio and how to make sure that you push the relevant information into Actito as well. To wrap up, we are going to meet you, all of you guys, in Paris, Louvain-la-Neuve, or nearby, of course, and Amsterdam in the very next weeks, together with Actito. So it's really a cool event, cool breakfast that we are organizing. It's not only breakfast, or
no, we have a sushi lunch.
It's breakfast, sushi lunch. It depends a bit, so you need to register to make sure that we can have a discussion about interactive marketing, data collection, and segmentation. And that was it.
You already had a breakfast in the Netherlands.
Yeah, exactly. I was a bit quick, but just to not take too much time of you guys. So, John,
final love it. Thank you very much, everybody. I don't see any kind of questions. Those replay will be redrop and share with you, of course. I think what you should remember is basically today, data collection is becoming more expensive than ever. So you need to invest wisely today your budgets. And you need to understand that once that you collect the data, you should maintain it as long as you can on a very with very fresh data, but also to consolidate data around it. Let's drop the buzzword 360-degree view. This is really for me, and I'm now 10 years at Actito, and I know Califio, I think, for more than 6 years now. It's like sister companies for me. They are so good in the attract phase, helping us identify those new people, but they're also very good in that gamification, allowing us to understand better the type of person they are. That it's just normal that our two solutions are deeply integrated today, because it's not 1 and 1 equal 2, but 1 and 1 equal even 5. And désolé Jean-Claude, that's really the idea behind. And I think when I see, and Olivier is also a marketeer in his heart, we cannot continue to spend so much money in the Facebook and the Googles. So it's really highly time that marketeers now understand the importance to get back in those relations between brands and consumer. And I'm convinced that that's what we managed to do with our both teams. It's really deliver the best of breed, from the attract to the engage to the retention of the data. If you're still curious on that, I would say Olivier will re-show if you want the short links, but those breakfast sessions it's really a first shot for me. I think they did already a couple of those, and the idea is really small groups, working groups, and we're mixing customer prospects, head of product like Olivier, marketing guys like me, customer success. We will be there, not to try to sell stuff, but really try to share what we think is the way that marketing should move. So I will say, really watch out. It's limited places, because we do that in small locations to increase that interaction, because that's what we try to share with you during, I think, more than 30 minutes now. So yeah, you get the links, jump on it, book your seat. We will be really happy to continue that conversation. There will be customers also showing the, how do you say that, the behind the scene. So I would say, you know what you have to do. Click on that link, subscribe, we're waiting for you. Olivier, I want to say an extra thank you to you. Really appreciate. Always cool to have head of product with us when we do those kind of things. Yeah, I think you know that we share kind of the same DNA. Shoot your question as much that you can. Share the webinar, talk with your boss, talk with us, talk with your peers. Just do something. Have a great afternoon, folks. Happy lunch for you, because I think it's 12:30 in Belgium for the moment. Yeah, so it's highly time to grab a sandwich. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye. See you soon, everybody. And
thank you, John, and see you, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks a lot, Olivier. Bye.